Meanwhile, Speaker Mike Johnson is optimistic the House will avoid a government shutdown. He says he thinks Republicans have the votes needed ahead of the March 14th deadline. Our Scott MacFarlane is following this for us from our Washington bureau. Scott, what can you tell us about the proposal to keep the government funded?
That not everybody's on the same page, which may not be a gallivanting surprise, but we're getting down to brass tacks here. It's 7 days until the government shutdown deadline, and there's no consensus that the votes are there. Different parties want different things. Mike Johnson is trying to get his colleagues behind this short-term continuing resolution, as they call it, extend everything the way it's being spent now for, say, another 6 months or so, closer to the end of the fiscal year. Getting Republicans on board with any spending plan has been treacherous over the past few years. And with the narrow margins in the U.S. House, seems they're going to need some Democratic votes. And Democrats have a different vision of what should happen. They'd like something that binds the administration to actually spend the money the way directed by Congress. They believe President Trump has been doing the opposite lately and has been defying Congress. So there's no consensus as to how to move forward. If there was a consensus, Lindsay, you know when they would have that vote? In the next 5 minutes or so.
And we are continuing to follow President Trump's plans to dismantle the Department of Education. Fully shutting it down can't happen without Congress. Does the White House have the support it needs? Is the math mathing?
Yeah, this is a bit different because there for generations has been calls inside the Republican Party to shut down the U.S. Department of Education or to slim it down significantly. This has always been a winning issue for Republicans in Congress, and some number of Democrats have equivocated about how wide and large the breadth of that agency should be. But the problem here is if Congress has to sign off on this to formally shutter that building and that agency, they have to hook that onto something else that will pass, which brings us back to the original problem. How do you get Republicans to agree on anything at this moment if there's not going to be Democratic support? What's the vehicle on which the shutdown of the U.S. Department of Education will ride? That's the bigger complication.
Elon Musk was on Capitol Hill yesterday to discuss signing DOGE cuts into law, essentially codifying this, saying none of this is permanent, none of this will be worthwhile unless lawmakers are on board. How are lawmakers responding? Yeah,
pretty good range of feedback from Republicans who have been supportive of Elon Musk. One Republican from Florida saying that there are some concerns about how fast some of these cuts are coming and how they may be impacting some of the constituents, from veterans hospitals to national parks to the FAA. Then you have a congressman from Wisconsin, a Republican, who said that Elon Musk has made assurances this won't impact veteran services or farmers as they make cuts, which satisfied some in the room. Then a congressman from South Carolina saying Elon Musk told the group nothing's off the table, that everything's in play. I think the concerns Elon Musk is getting from Republicans are more muted, more subtle, more behind closed doors. Not that they oppose what's happening, but that they're concerned the immediate impacts could slam their constituents.
Scott MacFarlane, thank you so much.